Hey, welcome to another anime recap, My Hero Academia Season 5. The anime starts when the students of Class 1A talk about the recent fight of Endeavor as he defeated Nomu and saved the city. Later, they are assigned a training mission to knock out the Big Three's Nijire and Tamaki while rescuing Mirio, who is acting as a civilian at the same time. On the other hand, while Endeavor is in hospital, Hawks meets with the villain, Dabi. Meanwhile, Hawks joined the League of Villains to destroy them from the inside, determined to make the world a better place for heroes. On the other time, when Endeavor goes home, he understands his situation as he cannot seek forgiveness from his family and must make amends for his sins. Later that night, Midoriya dreams of the day One for All was created and meets the first wielder. The following day, Midoriya discusses his dream with All Might and later, he and his Class 1A meet 1B for their first joint training battle. They form 4 vs 4 matches along with Shinso from General Studies. As the match starts, the Class A team is quickly overwhelmed by Class B team, which results in Kirishima and Kota being captured. Watching their current situation, Class 1A quickly make their new plan, in which Kaminari allows himself to be caught in order to help Shinso's quirk to break their communication and allow Asui to strike the final blow. After the match, Class 1A celebrates victory, and Shinso is motivated to become like his ideal hero. After a quick break, Match 2 starts, with Dark Shadow quickly possessed by Koroiro. Hawks understood throughout Tokiyami's internship that Tokiyami only required a push to realize his full potential. When Tokiyami recalls Hawk's instructions, he crafts a new technique and flies into the air. Later, just as Kendo predicted, Class A launches their counterattack, and suddenly, mushrooms start appearing everywhere. Because of Komori and Fukidashi's quirks, the Class A team is divided, with Aoyama captured as a result. Meanwhile, Yaoyorozu successfully launched a backup pack for Tokiyami containing thermal goggles. In the end, Kendo captures Hagakure while carrying an unconscious Yaoyorozu and believes that although she has won, Yaoyorozu was not surpassed, which means a defeat in her sight. Due to all the damage from Class B, the fighting zone has been transferred to another area. Before the match starts, Tokiyami approaches Todoroki and tells him to wind at any cost as they are the top 2 heroes students. As the match starts, Tetsuetsu of Class B concentrates on eliminating Todoroki. When Class A attacks them, Lita gets trapped in the softening quirk of Juzo and later uses his new move Recipro Turbo he learned from his brother and frees him. On the other hand, the ongoing duel between Todoroki and Tetsu start to weaken. Todoroki enforces him to use his father's iconic technique. When Todoroki is about to release his full power, Juzo arrives there and tries to attack him, but Lita also approaches at the moment, but the 4 competitors are knocked unconscious during the fight, which results in a tie. As the 4th match starts, the Class B team swiftly devises a strategy to take Bakugo down with his arrogant character, but their flawless teamwork repels them. At the end of the match, Match 4 finishes in 5 minutes with a victory for Class A. As the match starts, Monoma sets up his cunning trap of making Midoriya attack furiously. But when Midoriya becomes furious, his arm suddenly sprouts black tendrils that destroy the whole area. Watching this, Uraraka restrains Midoriya as Shinso uses his quirk to brainwash him. Meanwhile, Midoriya awakens in the Vestige realm and meets a former holder telling him that because One for All's core has become so big, Midoriya is now experiencing the quirks of the past holders. When Midoriya gains consciousness, Shinzo accidentally provides Midoriya with a means of attacking him and pulls 2 pipes down on Midoriya. But he uses Black Whip to encounter it and takes Shino down while Uraraka and others defeat the remaining Class B team. After Class A wins the match, Shinso receives a passing grade for his entry into the hero course. The next day, Aizawa invites Monoma to the hostel to get him to copy Eri's quirk. Meanwhile, Bakugo and Todoroki take to the cold streets after finally receiving their hero licenses to take down a band of robbers. Later, when the pair return to the hostel, the rest of the class throws them a surprise party to celebrate passing the exam. 9 days ago, Japan dealt with the fallout from the destruction of Dika City. On the other hand, when the study program is back and Midoriya and Bakugo have nowhere to go, Todoroki invites them to join him at Endeavor's hero agency. When Endeavor meets Todoroki and his friends in the city, he encounters an attempted attack by a doomsday theory spouting villain. After that, Hawks strangely hands a copy of Destro's Meta Liberation War to Endeavor and recommends the book's highlighted passages. As Endeavor reads the book and ties together certain letters in the marked passages, he notices a hidden message from Hawks announcing that the Meta Liberation Army would invade Japan in 4 months. Endeavor has now realized that the Hero Public Safety Commission wants to prepare everyone for Shigaraki's attack. After that, Endeavor learns that Bakugo does not know what he lacks, while Midoriya wants to master all of his other quirks, and Todoroki intends to absorb all of Endeavor's knowledge to become just like All Might. Following the first week of the work studies, Fuyumi invites Endeavor and others over for dinner. But the situation becomes awkward when the discussion shifts from Fuyumi's food to how Endeavor stopped Todoroki from eating Natsuo's meal. Midoriya overhears Todoroki and Fuyumi talking about everything and tells Todoroki that he believes he's getting ready to forgive Endeavor. Finally, the time has come when Endeavor will take the group back to the UA. On their way, they are attacked by a villain named Ending, who has already taken Natsuo as a hostage. Ending hangs Natsuo in front of a moving train and throws nearby cars into the air. Bakugo saves Natsuo while Midoriya saves the cars. Endeavor apologizes to Natsuo after hugging him, but Natsuo does not forgive him. Later, Gran Torino and Detective Tsukauchi summon Aizawa and present Mike to Tartarus Prison, where they learn that Kurogiri is a Nomu created using the corpse of their school friend Oboro Shirakumo. Aizawa and Mike break down in tears as Shirakumo's relationship and passing affected them. 2 months earlier, the League is transported to Dr. Ujiko's lab, assistant to All for One. The doctor wants to assist Shigaraki in his mission to eliminate everything that bothers him, but first, he needs to vanquish Gigantomachia. The League of Villains have a hard time beating Gigantomachia even in a month and a half, but Shigaraki's might and ability have been growing. On the other hand, the Villain League is attacked by the Liberation Army in Deka City, which separates them. At the moment of Spur, Toga is attacked by Curious and her supporters. Near her death stage, Toga evolves in Uraraka's form and escapes from her. Elsewhere, Destro fights with Shigaraki and smashes his left hand with the hands he wears all over his body. Then there is a flashback of Kid Shigaraki when he kills his family and meets All for One. After that, he defeats Destro and becomes the leader of the United Liberation Army with the League of Villains while Destro supports him. Season 5 ends when Class 1A train with All Might after returning from the work studies.